What is up, everyone? We are going live shortly to talk about the top 10 movie scores from the 2010s. This will be an interesting, I don't know if it's going to be a debate or if we're going to have all the same 10 in the list, but this is going to be a very fun one, doing another top 10 list. So hopefully you guys enjoy it and tune in till the very end to see our definitive top 10 list of the 2010s. Here you go. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Councilmen podcast. I am your host here for today, Albert Wiradharma. And today we have a very special podcast, a very different podcast than the usual. I'm not alone today. I am joined by some special guests. One is a returning guest that you've seen in the previous episode. One is fairly new to this podcast. So it'll be an interesting one. And we'll be talking about the top 10 best movie scores of the 2010s. That is a mouthful to say. But let's just introduce our guest here today. First of all, you know him. He is Matthew Chen. And also, we bring another friend with us. It is Sophie Planos. So, hi, guys.
Hey, everyone.
Why don't you guys, first of all, introduce yourself first, Matthew?
Yeah, no, I'm Matthew, and thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about movie scores today.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Sophie.
Sure. Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm very new to this podcast. I didn't know it existed until not too long ago. I'm very excited and honored to be a guest here tonight, and I can't wait to talk about movie scores with you guys.
Yeah, I invited you guys along because I definitely know that you guys are massive movie fans, and more particularly massive fans of like composers and scores in particular. So when I thought of this idea, you guys are the first two that I reached out to, and I thought this is going to be a very interesting one. That's I don't know what's it gonna be like. But yeah, so basically the reason why I have special guests today, not the usual councilman crew of Kelvin, Teguh, and Ariq. We just did another commentary track for this month, and the commentary track that we recently did was for the 2002 version of Scooby-Doo. That's a thumbnail right there that's going to be dropping fairly soon. So yes, we did not watch the 2020 version of Scoop that just recently got released, but we watched the 2002 version. Trust me, it was a coincidence that we are releasing it around the same time that the Scoop is being released straight to video. I didn't even know that was happening until we record the straight to the commentary track that will be dropping soon. But yeah, so yeah, that film was interesting to say the least.
It's very strange.
The second one
is very strange. It's the definition of a 2000s film. That film.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so because of that, the crew want to take a quick break, but I'm like, I still want to release another episode for this week. So I tried to think what particular topic I could be doing, and I'm like, hey Matthew, you want to be a guest for this for a episode that I'm gonna do? And Matthew's like, yeah, sure. And me and Matthew, we cannot really think of a topic at first. We go back and forth between like, I told him I want to make a top 10 list. I'm like, what should we do? Ghibli? Should we do DreamWorks? But I haven't seen enough DreamWorks. He haven't seen enough Ghibli. So I'm like, I don't know what we should do. And then I just thought of, you know what? Why don't we do a movie score list? And Matthew directly like, yeah, that could be a fun one. Right, Matthew?
Yeah. No, for sure.
And as soon as he did that, I just want to make sure that everything is aligned and everything. And then I reach out to you, Sophie, because I know you're also a massive score fan. So yeah, this will be a very interesting list. I don't know how our taste is similar or not at all. So yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Excited to see what everyone put in their top 10 and compare. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get to the actual list, why don't we just give a little bit of background on like why are you so interested in like movie scores? Because I think a lot of people overlook scores, and it's a very crucial thing about film that I like to point out vividly. Like in particular, in Thor Ragnarok, there was a scene at the very end where Thor is sitting on the throne, and there was like a bit of a motive from Patrick Doyle's score from the first Thor movie, and I'm like, "Yo, guys, that's the score. That's the score from the first Thor film." And everyone's like just looking at me like, "Huh?" They don't even realize that or anything. I'm like, that was
so
such
cool. That was such a great callback. I got really excited too. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, scores is so important. So yeah, let's just give a little brief overview from each of you guys. Like, why do you care so much about scores? What makes you care about it?
Right, Matthew, you can go ahead if you want to go first.
All right. I didn't really get into them until I want to say freshman year, and so that's kind of when I just started like listening. I started to listen to them just like when I'm studying and whatnot, and then when I watch movies like now, it's like I start to pay attention to that stuff even more, and like some more like themes and stuff throughout the movie, and so interesting to me.
Yeah, I definitely listen to scores a lot when I'm studying as well. That helps because I cannot focus with lyrics on. I know some people can. I cannot do that. So yeah, movie scores is my go-to for that.
That's the same for me. No, for me, I got into scores. It's been 10 years now, I think because 2010, when Inception came out, I was watching it and I was like, man, this music is like so fun. And I, dug a little deeper into it. And then I kind of was like, okay, I need to like focus on the music now when I'm watching movies, which I've noticed before, but I never really got into it as much as I did then. And I started like listening to more composers, and I discovered a lot more composers and their movies. And that's when just my obsession grew. And I don't know, music has always been a huge part of my life. I've been playing piano since I was 5. So music, like in movies, is just it brings a whole other level of just like magic to it, and it makes the movie like what it is if it has a good score. And I've been obsessed with it ever since. And now that's all I have to say about it.
It is a very important part of film in general. And to steal a line from, I believe this was Tessa Thompson and Michael B. Jordan from the Oscars 2 years ago. If you hear this song while you're in the water, dun, 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 you know shit is going on. Shit is going down. So it's so iconic. Like even the Jurassic Park theme song or Star Wars. Back to the Future, Raiders of the Lost Ark, those two have fantastic movie scores as well, and it's really it gives, like, when you hear the music, you know what it is
immediately. And you're brought back into the movie, and you can just like replay scenes in your mind if you hear the music. That's what happens to me if I'm listening to music while I'm studying. If I'm like something comes up like from Star Wars, I'm like, oh wow, lightsabers, I don't know.
So yeah, this list is going to be interesting because I don't know how you guys rank it. I don't know if you guys just determine it based on the particular, because just now we talked about the themes of the particular film, but scores are like there are multiple layers. So I don't know if you guys just base it off based on the main theme only, or you guys go through the whole score, or I don't know if your guys are limiting to like one composer per on the list, or like limiting to per year or whatever, or just doing it in general. So I'm interested to see what's gonna happen here. But yeah, how we're gonna do this is we're gonna go back and forth saying our number 10 all the way to the first. So let's say I go first, and then Matthew, and then Sophie, and then we go around all the way from 10 to 9 to 8. And if there is a particular film that is on, let's say I set a particular film in number 10, and it's on your list but it's higher, then all you have to do is say punt, and that way we'll save off the conversation for later then. But to save a bit of, this might be a little bit confusing for you guys at first, but like since there's 3 people, so let's save if the film is, so okay. So if the film is in the bottom 3, okay, let me just rephrase it. Let me rephrase this. Okay,
You got this.
So I'll do. Let's just do this. So I'll do my first 3, and then Matthew will do his first three, and then will do her first three, and then I'll do my next three, and then his next three, and then your next three, and we'll trade one apiece. And if the film is not in that particular grouping, then we'll punt it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's just gonna be the style that we'll be doing. Stealing the style here from Top 10 Show, John Roca and Matt Nost. So yeah, we'll just do that. This will be a very interesting one. So yeah, before we get started, you guys have anything to address about your list real quick that you want to say?
I guess to expand upon what you were saying, like when we made our ratings or our rankings, I kind of took into account not just one song, like a theme. I tried to make it like the overall, like all the songs, like make sure they're like all pretty much like really, really good. And then also favoritism, like I guess if you really like the movie, you really like the score.
Uh-huh.
And then what the music brought to the movie, obviously, like how much it played a role and how fun the themes are. I don't know. It really depends, but I kind of ranked it that way. I tried to be fair, but it was really hard when there's so many of them.
Yeah, I agree with you with that. There are definitely some possible bias in here, but this is a personal list.
We'll
anyway.
explain them.
Yeah. And we'll probably, if YouTube doesn't take it down, we'll try to play maybe a brief moment based on YouTube. I'm going to screen share and play a bit of music, and I'll just make sure to talk over it so it doesn't get copyrighted. But yeah.
Yeah. For me,
for
my list, I didn't have any composers that were in multiple positions, so I have like one composer for each. Actually, so
was that on purpose or was it accidental?
It just happened like that. There are some where I tried to keep it to one director too, but then there's only one where I wasn't able to do that. But yeah,
looks like Sophie's looking through her composer list to see if she has to click it as well.
I have the same composer twice only, and that's it.
Well,
the rest are all different.
We'll figure that out as soon as we jumped in, and let me just get started with mine first. And talking about one composer for the entirety of the list for each. It used to be like that till the very last minute before we start the show. I had 10 films with 10 different composers, but then I'm like, oh man, I re-listened to the song right before we jumped in, and last minute I had a change of heart and I had to move it. So my list is no longer one composer unique, but there is one composer that has 2 films in here. But yeah, my number 10 film that moved up from the number 11 to the number 10, that switch roles. It is from the 2015 film Creed.
All right.
Oh.
Composed by Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah, he's awesome.
The score for this film is incredible. If you need music for you to listen while working out, this is the perfect one. Just the particular song that from the training montage, I believe it's called. What is it called? If I Fight, You Fight, the training montage song. That song is perfect. And not just the training montage music. It have a particular motive that, yes, you might think he steals several from the Rocky films, and you can get a vibe of it, but it's very different on its own right. When you hear it, you can hear the difference between the Rocky theme and the Creed theme, and that's what really stands out to me. And not only that, just when I saw this film for the first time, the music just really hits me. And every time I watch this film, it makes me want to work out. And big part of it is because of music. So yeah, the song from this Creed film is just it's just incredible. To point out 2 particular songs that I mentioned: "If I Fight, You Fight," that's a training montage song, and "You're a Creed," which is the one where at the very end, after the final boxing match, where his like when Adonis is finally embracing that he's a Creed. When that song plays, it's just perfect right there. You guys have any comments on Creed?
I've never seen the movie.
Oh, okay.
But I've listened to the score because Ludwig Göransson, he did Black Panther and The Mandalorian, and I wanted to discover some more of his compositions, and then I went in and listened to some Creed, and he's a very unique composer. He really embraces like, I guess, what the film's about, and then just he gets the themes right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Creed's got a really fun score that it's in my hyped film score playlist, and it gets you pumped up. I
Mhm.
like it.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. No, I like it too, and it's like great workout score. So
Yeah, and I'm gonna give a little bit of scare screen. Can you guys hear the music here? You guys can hear the music, right? Yeah, like this theme is like just freaking it's just incredible. And once again, like what Sophie said, it really Ludwig Göransson, he's done several films and all those music are so different. Which is like my favorite part. I think I don't know where he's from. Is he German?
He's Swedish.
He's Swedish. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and he definitely did won the Oscar, right, for Black Panther.
He did.
So it's well deserved for him because I've been a fan of him since Creed, which I believe I might be wrong actually. Is that his first composing?
he did Station, I think.
Oh, did he did
think-
Fruitvale Station?
It's his first breakthrough, I think, composition, because he got really popular when that
I
happened.
think he worked on every Coogler movie.
Yes. They went to college together if I remember that correctly in UC. So what is his discography? Yes, I have to fact check this.
Yeah, he's Swedish. I know that because I looked it up like 2 days ago because I was curious.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, this is not his debut, but yeah, Creed definitely is his breakout, and yeah, he's done all his work with Ryan Coogler. So yeah, that's my number 10.
That's a good number 10. Solid.
Yeah.
I'm guessing none of you have that in there. So
No.
okay, so
Nope.
I'll move on. I'll move on to my number 9 real quick.
Okay.
So my number 9 is, ironically, also from 2015, is a Pixar film. It's called Inside Out.
Hey.
So no puns here. Okay. All right then. So Inside Out. This film, once again, it is a beautiful film composed by Michael Giacchino. The particular song that I absolutely adore is "A Bundle of Joy," which I'm gonna try to play here soon enough. But "A Bundle of Joy" is it's an iconic theme from the Inside Out song, and the way how the music Giacchino have a music for joy, for sadness, for fear, for anger, for disgust in this particular film, like for all the kind of emotions, and he have it there, and he have the particular theme right here, and yeah, this particular song is just really sweet, really it just hits you right where your heartstrings is, and I forget which the song is titled, but when spoiler for Inside Out, a film from 5 years ago, when Riley finally went home and she breaks down and hugs her parents. That moment always hits me every time, and that particular song is just perfect. And sorry, the only reason it's number 9 for me because it's a very personal film for me and I love it. But the only reason it's number 9, I listened through the whole score, and it's just not as strong as the other 8 I have on my list. But this film absolutely is just perfect, and I absolutely love the score. So yeah.
Right.
I think the song you're talking about is called "Tears of Joy."
Tears of Joy. That's right.
It's on my playlist. No, Inside Out, it'll definitely get you in the feels, and Michael Giacchino, he's the man that does the job for all of those tearjerkers.
Yeah, exactly.
I
agree.
You got that, Sarah.
I think Giacchino is my favorite composer of all time. And it's just surprising that that's the only one that I have in my list for Giacchino. So yeah, I absolutely adore that man. All his music is just fantastic. When I was listing this out, I was like, wait, hold on a minute. He did Up is great. Wait, that's all 2010s. Thank God, because it will make my list tougher to decide.
Yeah. I was talking to Matthew. I was talking to Matthew about like if this would have been the 2000s instead of 2010s, they would have all been Pixar.
Incredibles,
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille, Incredibles, Up. It's a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, what do you guys have any thoughts on the Inside Out score?
I mean, Matthew, do you have any thoughts?
I love it. I listen to it quite a bit. It's like definitely one of my more, the Pixar like scores that I like a lot more.
it's definitely super original, like an original
Yes.
movie with like an original score. It's something you've never heard before, which is what I really like about it. And yeah, I listened a lot to the Joy Credits song, which is like the
That
all
one's
the
great.
themes together. That one's fun to listen to. But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree that it's a really good score. I did not have it on my top 10, but it is somewhere in my honorable mentions.
Mhm.
All right, good to know that. Okay then, so we'll move on to the next one. And I didn't even realize this. Once again, ironically, from 2015 as well.
Oh my
3 and
gosh.
2015 in a row.
Okay.
And this one is the whole score, the whole how do you call it? The whole album for the score is fantastic.
Mhm.
But there is one particular song called "Brothers in Arms" from this particular score, which is incredible. And this is Mad Max Fury Road. It's not on your list. Oh
I have
wow.
some thoughts about I have some thoughts about this score.
Okay.
But
Well, before,
we'll get to it later. You explain why you like it first, and then
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I'm like,
all right, fair. So, first of all, the fact that composed by Junkie XL, the fact that he can make a score which is so fitting for literally a 2 hour, like what, a 2 hour car chase, particularly for the film. And this is the music that I'm talking about. This music is incredible just because of how epic it is. And yeah, Dan Murrell used, if you know Screen Junkies, Dan Murrell, he used it for his particular montage for the 2010s decade in review. And that particular scene just stands out. And just in the film alone, that particular scene is incredible during the particular chase, and everything that he has going on throughout the whole film is just really, it fits the film so well. It's just so, it's real badass, and it just speaks to me. It just speaks to me, the whole score. So yeah.
Alright.
it keeps the movie going. Like it keeps the
Mhm.
pacing just like super intense. That's what from what I remember when I watched the movie. I remember the score just being like always just
Oh yeah.
up and running, super hype. I mean, it keeps in pace with the
Yeah.
movie, which is something that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew, any additional thoughts?
No, I mean, I it's not on my list, but I do think it fits really well in the movie and like keeps it going. So
Yeah, it's not a favorite of mine because to me, I mean, I've only seen this movie once and I've listened to the score a couple of times, but for this one, maybe I need to go back and revisit it, but I always thought that Mad Max Fury, like the score for this one, was a little bit repetitive with its theme.
Mm-hmm.
And that's coming from, and that's just me with the theme because it's just 4 chords just over and over again. I know it's a lot, that happens a lot in scores, but for this one, like there was like one scene that it just kept playing and it just sounded like Hans Zimmer. I don't know,
Okay.
but that's just me. I really want to rewatch the movie just to like re-experience everything that happened and like listen to music again. But that's from what I got when I watched it. Overall, it's a really good score. It's just not on my list.
Yeah, I get that, and you can even tell that from the particular, when I played the Brothers in Arms scene just now. Even the opening part is quite repetitive, but in the middle, when it gets a hint bit of like an emotional value in there, it's just they just like, there's something in the middle of that particular Brothers in Arms that just like it's changed drastically, and it's just like frick, it's so epic. And so yeah, that's why the rest of the score, it's not the worst, but that one theme, it just elevates the whole score for me, that it makes it all the way to my number 8.
Okay.
That's
And
good.
yeah,
I'm gonna have
Steven,
to. Oh, Steven, look at that.
go ahead, go ahead, Sophie. You go say
No,
what you want to say.
I'm gonna have to add that one song into my playlist so I can listen to it.
Oh yeah, it's
The
incredible.
brothers in art. Yeah, I'll add
Yeah.
it.
And yeah, Steven, I do too listen to movie scores when I'm doing homework. Not particularly Brothers in Arms. That's too exciting for homework. I like to listen to Inside Out for homework though. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so why don't we go to Matthew for his number 10?
Okay. For my number 10, I have the movie We, which is directed by Madonna. And I didn't watch the movie until today, but I've been listening to the score a lot like beforehand. And so I was just like, okay, if I'm making this list, I need to watch the movie. So I finally watched the movie, and it's not good. It's not bad, but it's like I gave it a 5.
Uh-huh.
So It's
Pretty like in the middle, average.
yeah, it's like in the middle, but yeah, the score is beautiful in the movie and like works perfectly in the movie, and so that's why I have it at number 10. Like the score is amazing. Charms and Evgeny's Waltz, both like beautiful. I don't know if you want to
find that.
find
Yeah.
it.
Was there the particular song is called Charms?
Charms. Yeah, I think that's like that's one of the main songs.
Let me try to find that. And is the
I
composer?
agree with His
Who's the
name is
composer?
Abel
for Zoo. I don't know how to
Okay, yeah,
pronounce.
I found it. I found it.
Korzanowski. Is that what
I'm not very good at pronouncing that
Me
name.
neither.
Yeah, and it's very like romantic, and this is like there's like this Charms theme throughout. Like there's like these little beats that like go on throughout the whole movie, and with Evgeny's Waltz. And like that. That's why
It's so beautiful. That's a good choice for your 10, Matthew. I like that choice a lot.
it's just super beautiful.
I actually didn't know about this film until Matthew introduced it to me. He was like, he added some of the songs, and he was like, "Sophie, you should listen to this," and I did, and it's. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me go turn on the lights.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of this film before.
Right.
So the thoughts on the score did not cross through my mind because I've never heard of the film and I never heard the score. But by the sounds of it and your description and the little tease that we and I only put a little tease because I don't want to get copyright once again. But it's I can see where you're hinting at, and it does sound beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to change my headphones really fast because these are running out of battery.
Okay. Sounds good. But yeah, you want to say anything else about the we and the WE? Is it we or WE? I don't even know.
I don't know.
WE stands for the character names, the two character names that are like it's about Wallace and where is that? There's like two timelines going on, and so but WE stands for Wallace and Edward. And so
Okay.
that's so I guess it's technically WE, but yeah.
I don't think I've heard that composer before.
It's also the composer for Nocturnal Animals.
Did he do Nocturnal Animals? Yeah, that one's a good one.
Okay.
Connect to my headphones.
Okay, let's see what else you have then. So WE is from is that the 2012 film or 20?
Yeah. Yeah, 2012.
Yeah, so he did Nocturnal Animals, he did WE. I'm ashamed to know I've listened to his score, but the one that I listened to was not an iconic one. It's from a 2013 highly Steinfeld movie called Romeo and Juliet, just atrocious. I don't remember the score for it.
Oh,
Maybe
he
it's
did that
good.
one. Yeah.
Maybe the score is good, but the film was so bad that I cannot even handle it. So yeah.
No, I think I've never seen Wii, but when I rewatched a lot of the movies from 2012, I didn't watch Wii, but it's in my like best film scores of that year because it's so pretty.
Before we move on to Matthew's next one, do you guys like ever? So based on what Sophie's saying, so you guys listen to movie scores without seeing the film? You guys have done that before?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. See, I've never done that.
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever done.
So that sometimes that listening to the movie score inspires me to watch the movie. That's how like sometimes I get into some particular movies that I've never heard of before. It's because of the score.
I've never done that because I'm like I want to hear it firsthand from the film to get the experience from it, not like separately. But I definitely see what you're getting at, and maybe I will one day. I don't think I cannot recall an experience where I listened to the score first before I watch the film. So yeah.
It's weird. It's not for everyone. For me, I'll listen to whatever I get my hands on. But yeah, for some people, you want to gain the experience when you watch the movie first and not spoil it for yourself, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So Matthew, why don't you go on with your number 9?
All right, my number 9 is a Lady Bird with John Brion's score. So. Yeah, I mean, I love Lady Bird as a movie, and so when I watch the movie, I'm just like the score like it's just makes it even better to me. Like the opening, there's like this pop vibe, but like it fits really well with like the setting of the movie. And then there's also the one that there's like Drive Home and Rose Garden, which are some of my favorites. And then the ending scene where I guess it's spoilers for Lady Bird, but at the end where she drops her off at the airport and the mom's driving back, and like this, the score just like affects me a lot. Like,
it's an emotional scene.
Music? Sorry, is there any particular music that you want me to play over you while you talk from Lady Bird, or just any of them?
Just play Lady Bird.
The theme Lady Bird. Okay.
Lady Bird, yeah.
All right, and go on. You guys keep talking as I'm looking for that.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I knew that was going to be on your list.
Yeah.
I knew that. I just didn't know it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like somewhere in the middle. I didn't know you were going to put it at 9. But I guess now I'm excited to see the rest of your picks.
So,
it's a nice score.
It's very different because it sounds almost disoriented in a way, but like it works with her character, you know?
I
don't know.
Yeah.
I like it. I think I used to not like it, but when I rewatched it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is actually not too bad. So
it got I don't want to say a little bit of jazz vibe, but there's like, I don't know what there's
swing.
something about that. Yeah, the swing music, not jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Over there, that's really nice. But yeah, I did not consider Lady Bird. Wow, that's surprising. I love the film. I just didn't thought of it, so it wasn't on my list. But it definitely is a. Listening to that, I want to just revisit the score itself, because I think that's a really solid pick. Oh yeah, so I'm guessing Sophie doesn't have that in her list as well. All right,
these are a lot different than I was.
Let's
we
see
all have like different.
Yeah, let's see if that continues on, or we have something similar eventually. So yeah, go ahead, Matthew.
All right, my number 8 is The Artist from 2011.
Punt.
Okay.
That's a fast punt right there by Sophie. So before we go on to Sophie, Steven in the live chat said the King Arthur scores kick ass, but I don't want to watch the film because Disney told Anton Fuqua that he could make an R-rated film, but then they told him it had to be PG-13 during production, so he dislikes. Which King Arthur film is this?
Okay, King Arthur. I think he's maybe the one I know is the one that Hans Zimmer did, and that one, as cool as the theme is.
Which King Arthur film is that?
It's with Keira Knightley. I think that's the one he's referring to. I'm not sure. That's the one I know.
Okay. Because there's a lot of Arthurian.
I'm pretty sure it's that one. I mean.
Yeah. So that's the Hans Zimmer one.
That's Matt Mikkelsen, right? Okay.
Oh, is this a different one? Am I talking about a different one?
The song about the Clive Owen Hans Zimmer composed. So
yes. Okay. The Hans Zimmer one. Yeah. That one. It's crazy how like many. So I know Hans Zimmer is very known for like there's a lot of his themes sound similar within a lot of his compositions, and with that one, it's crazy. It sounds like Batman Begins. It sounds like Last Samurai. It sounds like a lot like all of his films put together. That's why it's a cool score. Don't get me wrong. It just sounds like super Hans Zimmer. Like it's crazy. But thanks, Steven.
Yeah, that one's 2000. That one's the 2004 King Arthur film. So yeah, just to let people know.
Yeah.
And yeah, Sarah in the chat say I really need to watch Lady Bird.
Yeah, you do, Sarah. Yeah, you do.
Steven say I didn't even know Lady Bird had a score.
What? Pay attention, Steven.
All right. So yeah, Sophie, why don't you go on with your number 10?
Okay, my number 10 is 2019's 1917 by Thomas Newman. It kind of snuck up there. I had it on my honorable mention. Instead of that one, I had First Man, but then I moved it down because there was something about the Thomas Newman's 1917 score that really, it just brought so much like emotion and power to the movie. Like I know Thomas Newman and Sam Mendes work so well together, and I think one scene in particular that really got like two scenes. So I'm assuming both of you have seen 1917. So there's a scene where one of the main characters, spoiler alert, one of the main characters is running through like a destroyed town, and there's fire everywhere. And there's the song called A Night Window that's playing, and he's just like going through this destroyed town trying to avoid all the enemies.
This one is a night window. I played it. This is somewhere in the middle of the song. So yeah.
It is one of the best. Like, I think I shed a tear because of how amazing that entire scene was. It was so powerful, and the themes just swept through. It captured the emotion perfectly. I just got goosebumps. That's how amazing. Like, that's how crazy that scene was. And then there's another song towards the end where he's like running through the battlefield, the iconic I guess it's not iconic because it's new, but he's running through the battlefield trying to deliver the message.
That one scene, yeah.
That's another scene that just really blew me away. Again, I got so many chills. I felt like I was really there. And I don't know, that entire score, I've listened to it, and I'm not huge. I've never been like a really big fan of war movie scores, but Thomas Newman really made this one enjoyable and powerful, and it's amazing. It made me like the movie just as much as I do now.
Yeah, this one got nominated for an Oscar, did it?
Yeah.
Yes, and I knew Joker was going to win, but a huge part of me really wanted 1917 to take away the win, but I'm fine with Joker winning. It's fine.
It's an absolutely great score. I was considering it. It didn't actually make my final cut. But it's a really fantastic score by Thomas Newman.
Yeah, I didn't realize I'd like it this much, but I had to put it in the top 10, and it snuck up there, so I'm happy.
Definitely one of Thomas Newman's more unique scores.
Yeah, because you know he has a theme. If you listen to Finding Nemo or Series of Unfortunate Events, anything he's done, he has a certain theme. And then American Beauty, he's got a certain distinct sound to him. This one is very different. You don't really hear that in this movie, and that means he just went completely off the rails and just did something completely new for this movie, which I totally appreciated.
His score for this is a different film for Road to Perdition is also very fantastic.
That one's good too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they are referencing to 1917, saying that they absolutely love it. That piano is haunting.
Yeah, the piano is very haunting through that. Yes, 1600 Men. That's the song I'm talking about. Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm guessing it's not on Matthew's list as well, and it's not on my list.
It's an honorable mention for sure.
All right, so yeah, Sophie, let's move on with. Is this your number 9 now?
Yeah, so I just did number 10. This is my number 9. My number 9 is actually The Artist. Okay. Matthew, was that your number 8?
That was my number 8. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, there we go. It's close enough. So mine was The Artist. I watched this film like 2 months ago for the first time. I loved it because the music basically carries the entire story since it's a silent film. And then I nagged Matthew to watch it because I knew he'd like it, and he did. And I'm happy that he put the score in his top 10. Good taste.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like the music is the entire movie. Like, and that's I guess one of the main reasons it's not on Spotify, because it's the whole movie.
Yeah.
I was annoyed because the music is so beautiful. It speaks for the characters. He does what's his name? Ludovic Boris, I think. I'm pronouncing. He does an amazing job. He does so much work for that film. It's incredible. I really love the score. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Matthew, why don't you chime in as I play the music here?
Okay. And so yeah, I mean, it's a silent film, so like, it has to be carried by the music, and just the music is so good and like makes it super lively. There's romantic and like.
I love this song. It just takes you back to like that era where silent films were a thing, and it just feels so nostalgic, even though we weren't alive.
Yeah, this one was not in my list because once, all the films I've put in this, all the film scores I put in this is all films that I have seen, and I have not seen this one. So maybe if I had seen it, it would have made my list. But yeah, since I haven't, I couldn't put it in consideration. But yeah, so The Artist is a silent film, and the music just brings back like to that era. Is that what you guys saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a silent film, and it's like a big callback to like when silent movies were a thing back in like the 20s.
Yeah, 20s.
I don't know if I'm getting 20s.
Takes place in the
And
20s.
and the story is really cute. It's a little bit dark at times, but the music again just really carries the entire film, and it won Best Original Score
It did.
for the Oscar, so well deserved in my opinion.
Yeah, and Ludovic Borsch, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the Wikipedia page. He haven't done much after The Artist, before or after. His biggest accomplishment is The Artist, and then he haven't composed for any other film since then. So yeah,
It's a one-hit wonder.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
An Oscar winner, but never done anything since then. That's very interesting.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the first commonality so far, The Artist. So yeah, we'll see if that continues on.
Okay.
So yeah, Sophie, your number.
So Matthew, that was your 8.
Yeah.
Artist was my 9. So my number 8 is 2010's The Social Network by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Punt.
Mhm.
Let's punt that.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
an honorable
I'm happy
mention
that's
for
on
me,
your
guys.
list.
No, I was like trying to pick it. It was tough to take it off, but yeah.
All right. So yeah, we'll save that conversation. Okay. So
We're
I'll
gonna
go,
stay
with,
there. Okay.
I'll go with my number. Now it's my number 7. And this one, as soon as it reached 7, this list, the order can pretty much change because it's really competitive now for me and it's really tough. But yeah, I had to put this at number 7, even though I absolutely love it. And it's from 2014, composed by Alexandre Desplat. It is the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Wait, what happens if it's the same as mine? Is that punt?
Exactly your number 7.
I'm exactly number 7 is mine.
Let's just talk with it right away. Let's just talk about it right away.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'll start first. So there are lots of. At first, when I considered this film for the best score of the 2010s, this one was automatically up there when I first thought of it, because I did like a little bit of googling, like, oh, what do people think is the best scores of 2010, and I like that helped me pick out some. But
Yeah.
before I did the googling, this one is automatically in my head, like, yeah, this one have to be in there somewhere eventually. And I was only thinking of the Mr. Mustafa.
Mustafa, yeah.
Mustafa.
Oh, but there's
Mr.
so many
Mr.
other
Mustafa.
themes in that movie.
That's the thing. That's the initial thought that I have. That theme was like so iconic. And then as soon as I'm like, okay, if that's the only thing that I consider, that should be pretty low. And then I go through the whole score. I'm like, oh my god, there's so many layers to the score. There's so many great stuff that's like so different throughout the whole final product of the whole album. So
Yeah.
this one is just so beautiful by Alexandre Desplat. And I'm gonna give 2 samples. One of them of the music is the one I'm talking about. This is the Mr. Mustafa one, and this is like, it's so chill. It's such relaxing. This is one of my go-to when I listen while studying. It's just so relaxing. It fits the Wes Anderson vibe. You can just see,
Yeah.
you can just picture the shot that's going on right now of what's going on with this film, with this particular music. So yeah, as I'm gonna give another sample, why don't I let Sophie talk about Grand Budapest Hotel?
Okay. Basically, Albert, you stole everything I was gonna say. I agree with everything you said. There's something about Wes Anderson that when his films, it feels like he makes them with such delicacy, and Alexandre Desplat just like, or I don't know how to say his name in the French. I'm butchering his name. I know. I'm sorry, but what he does is just he matches Wes Anderson, and he just makes the score match perfectly with the movie and the uniqueness and the weirdness and the again the delicacy of the film. And I agree with you. Like, there's so many different themes in this movie that just make it so much fun to listen to and engaging with the movie. You're not just like, oh, it's not the same theme over and over again. No, and that's another thing with Wes Anderson films. It's like all the themes, they'll come back around, but there's always something different in every scene that's happening. And Grand Budapest Hotel is a great example of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said delicacy. I think that's like the perfect phrase for it. Because literally, that it's there's something.
There's something delicate about his filmmaking and the score, and it's almost as if it's just so satisfying to watch. It's just, there's something about it, and I love it. And Grand Budapest Hotel, the reasons it's at my number 7 is because it's the first Wes Anderson film I ever watched, and I fell in love with it. and the score immediately I was like, okay, I'm hooked, and I downloaded it on my iPhone, and I listened to it all the time. So it's up there. It has a nostalgic factor to me, but it's also like an incredible score, and I believe that one won best score in 2015 for
I
the
believe
2014 Oscars.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And yeah, this one is my favorite of any Wes Anderson film for score. It's just I just absolutely adore it, and yeah, Alexander Desplat. It's an absolutely phenomenal song. I cannot find the song that I'm looking for. I cannot remember, but
I think I know what you're talking about. It's called.
You know
It
the
may
title?
be Canto of Gabelmeister's Peak.
Okay, let me try to find that.
That's
I'll let
that's a
I'll let
that's
Matthew
another pop.
That's,
That's a good
That's
one.
another popular one.
what is it called? Sorry,
It's called Canto at Gabelmeister's Peak, I think.
that might be
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
That's 100% it. That's like another iconic theme of the movie, and it's such a fun scene.
Yeah, while I do that, I'll let Matthew say his thoughts on this because I don't believe it's on this list, right?
No, it's not on my list, but it's tough because Alexander Desplat is my favorite composer, and so I didn't want to put a bunch of Alexander Desplat on my list, and so yeah, that one didn't make it, but it's definitely an honorable mention. It's definitely one that I listen to a lot.
Yeah, and Sophie, you're right. This is the theme that I was thinking of. It's so different than the Mr. Mustafa one, and it's from the same
I
film.
know.
There are many of these that are like so different, but it feels like it fits so well to the theme of the Grand Budapest Hotel. So
It's perfect. I listen to this, I think immediately it's amazing. I really, really love the score. It was just, I feel like it was composed with such love and care.
mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I am curious though now, since Matthew said Desplat is his favorite composer. If you have a different Desplat film in this list, but yeah, we'll see. We might.
Oh, he does. I know which one it is. I'm not gonna say it, but I know which one it is.
I know one other big one that it might be there, but I'm not sure. So yeah, that was my number 7. Okay, so I'll go with my number 6 now, and it is The Theory of Everything by Johan Johansson. From what's this? 2014, 2013, 2014
It's
film.
2020.
So
No,
not-
2015.
This one's it's 2014, I believe.
Never mind.
14.
Yeah. So another 2014 film in the list.
Okay.
Say The
I
Theory
thought
of
it-
Everything by Johan Johansson.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Johan Johansson.
It's in no one's list.
I texted you when I said, "Oh no, I have to cut it off."
It made my honorable mention, but it's not on there. It's bolded in my honorable mention. That's how much it means to me. But
Me too.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well, I'll say my thoughts. The score for this one by Johan Johansson is absolutely beautiful. It is, I think, aside from just the performance and just the tragic love story of the two, this is like the best part of the film.
Mhm.
And I would have put it higher, and I'm gonna explain why I would have put it higher, but I didn't. But yeah, just the score of it, as I'm going to try to find it, a sample of music of it. But yeah, it fits the tone of what they're trying to tell in the film of Stephen Hawking's story, and the beautiful love story, and about about Theory of Everything. And let me which one? Okay, this one is a pretty good score. As there is a YouTube ad that played, of course. Okay, so I'll wait for the YouTube ad to disappear, and then I'll play the music.
I like your pick, though.
Mhm.
Theory of Everything is a really, really great movie, and the score is absolutely beautiful.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's not on my list, but it's
Yeah, like just listen to that. It's so beautiful.
Mhm.
Unlocking the Mind. I gotta put that on my list.
Yeah, and before I go further, I want to hear from Matthew first.
Yeah, I think this is a really beautiful score, and I really like the dreams that stuff is made of, like Forces of Attraction.
Forces
there
of
are
Attraction is
so
good.
many.
Mhm.
There's
there
one
are
song.
so many
Oh.
that that I love, but there's one song that I absolutely love from this film too, but it's not technically from the score.
Mm.
So I
Arrival
cannot-
of the Birds
Arrival
Yeah.
of the Birds.
from
Oh
the
my
Crimson Wing.
Yeah,
The
that
Mystery
is
of the
one of
Flamingo.
that is one of my favorite piece of music ever.
It's
Of,
absolutely
like, all
beautiful,
time.
and that
Yeah.
scene is amazing.
Yeah, when they flash back to everything,
It's going
just,
in reverse, and I really wish Johan did something, but because honestly, I thought that was from his score, but then when I realized it was from a Flamingo documentary, I was like, oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, if that was part of the actual score, I would have bumped that way higher in my list. But since it
Mhm.
didn't, I had to reduce it a bit because a big part of my love for the whole music in the film is that particular music. But since it's not technically part of it, not part of the album, I had to bump it down. But I still absolutely love it. But yeah.
I'm gonna give you like major props here because I've never heard the Unlocking the Mind song, and I have no idea how it just went over my head.
Oh, it's
So like
beautiful one.
it's so pretty. Like now I'm gonna just listen to it before I go to sleep because I can't wait to. I think tomorrow I'm just gonna listen to it while I work the entire album because I need to give it a shot.
Oh yeah, Johan Johansson. It's a tragic thing that he is no longer with us. But yeah, he's an absolutely amazing composer. So
He
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my number 7, and now I'll go to my number 6, which
No,
is
that was your number 6.
Next.
wait 1, 2, 3. No, that's my number
Because
6. Okay, so now I'll go to my number 5 now.
You go number 5.
Okay, so my number 5 it was Sophie's number 8, and it's a social network.
Okay, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, Albert, let's hear what you think about it first.
Well, it's composed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, and it is the fact that they can make the music. They can make an internship sound awesome. They make people talking about nerdy tech stuff sound awesome. It's so incredible. Yes, the film is incredible on its own right, but the music itself, it's I don't know how you describe it. I have to give a sample of it, but it fits the theme, and it's
It's so
striking.
unique.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It somehow fits in the glory that is this movie, and it's easily becoming one of my favorite movies of all time. And here's something interesting about The Social Network. Back in 2010, when I was obsessed with Inception, and Social Network beat out Inception, I got so mad. I was like, what is this movie that's trying to be all cool? I listened to the main theme, Hand Covers Bruise, and I was so unimpressed. I was like, what is this piano just playing 3 notes? This is not nice. I don't like this. And obviously I was mad. I was little. I had no taste. And when I got to college, I watched this movie over like more times, and the music really resonated. I was like, whoa, man, yet the music is actually really good. And the more times I watched the movie, the more I appreciate the music and everything that went into it. And it made my top 10 because it's so
It's so good.
2010-year-old Sophie being like, pianos, just 3 notes.
Yeah.
No,
But
but
yeah, like it
so
builds the
simple.
anticipation of it.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
It's so simple, but yet so like there's so much going on, even though there's barely anything going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. Like there is not much going on, but it just feels very important and feels very
It does feel important. It feels deep.
yeah, it feels striking. So yeah, Matthew, it wasn't on your list, correct? Right?
No, it was not. It was barely on my list for a while, and then I was like,
Dishonor.
It's crazy.
but yeah, no, I ended up moving it down. It's definitely one of my honorable mentions, but yeah, it was barely made the list.
No,
Alright,
it's a very and it's not just that theme. There again, like with Alex this hotel, Social Network has like 10 different themes going on at once, and it just makes it just more exciting whenever
Mhm.
something new happens. You hear a new piece of music come up and you're like, oh, what's this? Something new. And it goes so well with the movie, and it's one of my favorite movies. An amazing score.
Mhm.
Made my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like literally a lot of the scenes in the film is just like very normal, very not like not like exciting. It's not. It's like it's not Mad Max Fury Road, but the way how they make the music make the film feels like Mad Max Fury Road is a testament to itself. If you know what I mean by that by the comparison. But yeah, there like you said, there is a lot of different songs from this film that really stands out to me. But yeah,
I find myself just listening to the album from time to time just because there's all the songs are, and that's another reason. Like, there's not just one song that's good. There's like there's 7 songs in there that are all on my playlist. They're just really, really good.
Intriguing Possibilities is one of my favorite.
Yeah,
I love that one. That entire scene is really good because they go back and forth within the lawsuit and what happens. It's so good.
It's so I have chills right now listening to this one. It's so chilling. It's so perfect. And the fact that they are composing for Soul for the Pixar film that's coming up, I'm so excited for that. Lee Unrich and Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross working together. That is perfect. That is so exciting to me. So yeah, this is my number 5, The Social Network. So yeah,
I really like how that's super high up in your list. Like, I appreciate that. That's awesome.
I love it.
Okay, no, that's a really good choice. Matthew, you gotta step it up, man. I'm only kidding.
Okay, so yeah, Matthew, why don't we hear your number 7? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, my number 7 is Little Women, the 2019 film.
There we go. I was waiting for that one.
Yes. I just found myself.
That's the slot one that you're talking about. Okay.
I just found myself like listening over and over, like with the score, and like at the beginning, it's like very cheerful and like fast paced and everything, and goes into Plumfield, which really
it's so beautiful,
really well. Like
makes me want to hop. I'll lower the volume a bit. But yeah, go on with your thoughts.
There's like a really romantic sounding to it, in some of it, but then there are also like there's a balance of like mellow and like melancholic sounds, I guess I go into the spoilers, with like Beth's death and like the father coming home and all that. Like there's father comes home is like really melancholic too. And then my favorite piece I think is probably Dance on the Porch, which is when Joel and Laurie are like outside dancing together, and like I just like really love that piece.
Dance on the Porch. I'll try to find that if you want me to.
Yeah, and then
that's a good song.
It also ends really beautifully with It's Romance.
Oh, I think that's my favorite song. I love that song. It's such a good conclusion. Like it ends really like it ends bittersweet in a way because for me, I didn't know the story going into the movie. I had never seen the old movies, and when it ends, spoiler alert, when Amy ends up with Laurie and then Joe with the other guy, it's weird, but it kind of fits, and I think the score did well in complementing the story.
Yeah, this was definitely one of my, if not my favorite score from 2019.
Oh, yeah.
It's up there.
I think when I was making the initial list, this was in there, but I forgot to include it in my honorable mention list of the 5 that I mentioned. But yeah, this one I absolutely adore it. At the end of the day, it didn't make the cut, but I absolutely adore just the music from this film. It really stands out during my initial watching. Even it's really pleasant, and it's cheerful yet it's sad. It feels like it has a lot of hope, but there's also a little bit of tragic in it. So it's a beautiful one. And I thought you were, for some reason, I thought you were gonna pick Shape of Water for Alexander's Flood.
Yeah,
I kind of thought that too.
It might come up.
I forgot that he did this. So yeah, but yeah,
it might come up again. Who knows?
He's so good. He does like 3 movies a year. He's everywhere. Yeah. He's keep composing, and he keeps spitting out all these great like albums. I don't understand how he does it. He's really truly a genius. Like he
had like 5 of them, right, in 2011 or something like that. Right?
Yeah, he did so many in 2011.
He also, he did the Harry Potter films as well, which I love. The last 2.
Yeah, Deathly Hallows.
He did, the last 2. Yeah, he did Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, which Part 2 is on my honorable mention. It almost snuck up, but then I was like, there are better movies. I tried to keep away from franchise movies. I tried, which means I probably failed. But
I don't think I have this mention.
Going back to Little Woman, I think one of my favorite scenes, and when I knew I was like, okay, yeah, this score is really good, is the scene where towards the end, Joe is like organizing her book, and the pages are like spread out everywhere on the floor, and then this really like adventurous, like intense music is playing in the background of like wonder almost, and I really, really like, oh, this is like really, really good. It's powerful. It's she's making her book, and she's doing something cool with her life, you know. I like that scene a lot. I like the song a lot too.
Yeah, I'm surprised to notice. I know he's been nominated several times. He has won twice. He's nominated 11 times, which is incredible.
11. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And just from 2010s alone, he did The King's Speech. He did The Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is another fantastic of Wes Anderson's music as well.
Wait, Fantastic Mr. Fox is 09, right?
Oh, why does it? Oh, the Oscar was 2010. Okay.
Oh,
That's why I say 2010.
Okay.
Okay.
I hate it when it's a year over. I get so confused.
He also did Argo. He did Philomena, which I've never heard of.
Philomena?
Yep. He did The Imitation Game, which is
that's
good score as well.
That's a good one. It made my honorable mention list. That's
awesome.
a great score.
And another animated film that I almost considered because I actually really like it is also Isle of
Rise
Dogs.
of Guardians? Never mind. Wrong one.
Did you do Rise of Guardians?
It's a great score too.
Oh, okay.
I highly recommend you give it a listen. It's actually like really good.
I mean, Rise of Guardians is in my watch list because I'm watching a bunch of DreamWorks right now, and that's up there.
Albert,
so I'll get to it.
Watch it. Don't listen to the score before. If you want to like experience the whole thing, just watch the movie. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, I've seen the film before. It just didn't resonate me the first time. Maybe it will this time. But yeah,
pay more attention to the score. All right, continue.
And I'm surprised. I didn't know this. He's gonna be doing Black Widow for the music for Black Widow. So I'm excited for that.
Really?
I didn't know that, but I'm excited.
I didn't know that either. Oh well, now Black Widow's gonna have a crazy good theme. I'm so excited.
He was supposed to do Rogue One, but I don't know what happened. But it ended up going to Giacchino, which Giacchino didn't okay did it. But I would love to hear a Star Wars music by Alexander Desplat.
If we're comparing, like, okay, because usually John Williams does the themes for all the Star Wars movies, but then they went off with Rogue One and Solo. I think Solo did a better job with the score than Rogue One did. John Powell, fantastic. It's in my honorable mentions. I almost put it in my top 10, but then I was like, I can't do it. But it's we're getting
no, it's okay. It's okay. I just want to chime in a little bit, but yeah, Giacchino did get rushed for, if I'm not wrong, for Rogue One. He got rushed on working with that because once again, it was supposed to be this plot, and I forgot what happened. So they went to Giacchino, and Giacchino was sort of rushed on working it. So that's why it's not the best music. So yeah,
but it's still good enough for the movie. The movie was good.
Okay, so I forgot where we are. That was Matthew's number 7 for Little Women.
So my number 6 is Columbus. So this is a movie that I watched pretty recently.
I still haven't gotten to it. I know you told me to do it. I'm sorry. I haven't.
But yeah, no, the theme is, or just, it's not really a theme, but like the score is like super peaceful. It's like really calm and like meditative. And there's just like this ethereal nature that like fits the tone of the movie really well. And like, I just really loved it. And like, I listened to it after watching the movie, and it's just like really, I just, really loved it. And like, I started to like it even more.
Who composed it?
Hammock?
By Hammock. Yeah, Hammock.
Okay.
What else? I've never heard of the movie, and I've never really. I know you watched it and reviewed it on Letterboxd. I saw that, but I have no idea what the movie is. Like, I guess I have to. I'm adding it to list of things to listen to and watch. So.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
So yeah, this is one sample music from the film. It's called. I think it's called Pay.
Yeah.
So
it is soothing.
So yeah, that is Columbus. Once again, I cannot chime in because I do not know, but I trust your word that it's a it's a fantastic film with a fantastic score, because I know you love this film too. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar with it, so I cannot say too much about it.
I can't do it either. This is all you, Matthew.
Yeah.
You have
And
anything
this
else
is
to
what
say
your
about,
I think I
this is your number 6.
yes, number 6.
Oh wow!
Mhm.
What year did Columbus come out? Was it last year? This year?
2017. So
okay.
yeah, like another 2017 movie.
and yeah, Hammock is they're a band, and they don't do a lot of for like soundtracks. So this is one of their first one, I believe.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Okay. And my number 5 is Your Name. By,
Yeah, I really wanted to put that in. It made my honorable mention. I really do, man. It's so difficult to cut that out.
Uh-huh.
But I can chime in this time. So yeah, why don't you go in and say your stuff, and then I'll chime in.
Yeah, so Your Name, I love the movie, and it just like the music to it is like, there's like romance, there's like there's sadness, there's cheerfulness, and like I decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to the score before like I do this, because like kind of make sure that it belongs on the list. And I was just like, there's like this sense of longing that like like the characters feel in the movie that like you feel in the score, which I just like, I love that. So.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's just also like bright scores, like the high school, like when they're going to school, and like there's like the little beats that are happening.
Yeah, and Radwimps is a band from Japan, in case some people don't know. So they don't usually do this. So they don't usually do films, which is why the score for, they also did the other Makoto Shinkai film, which is Weathering with You, and the score is very similar. But of course, this is the first one that I heard, and I absolutely adored it as well. And like Matthew said, the iconic theme, the main theme, I would say, is the Mitsuha's theme, and it's just it's so beautiful. It really is.
It's so simple too. It's not very complex. It's just it hits the feels too, because it's a very emotional and beautiful movie.
Yeah.
And it really helps because the hand-drawn, I really like hand-drawn animation, and the hand-drawn animation in this film is absolutely beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, and this theme, I believe it played during the climax of the film, which I'm not going to spoil in case some people haven't seen it.
No, we're not spoiling that.
But when Matthew said the sense of longing, that definitely is true. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff like the high school music, and when he's in the cafe and whatnot, there's like different stuff going on. And this is technically from the album of the score, even though there is particular lyrics. I forget what it's called, but it's like one of the, I think it's not near the credits, but it's like near, it might be opening credits actually, I don't know. But there is a particular one called, I'm trying to find it, I forget what it's called, but it's really good, and it's part of the album, so I just want to point it out.
What year was this movie?
20,
and it was 2016, but I think in America it got released in 2017.
Another 2017. No, so
yeah, watch it. The sub version is way better than the dub version.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I had never heard of this when I watched it. I had a friend show it to me because he's really into anime, and I watched it, and we were both in tears in the end. It was just such a I didn't know it could hit me as hard as it did. Whoa, this movie's crazy! Like in terms of like, oh, what it did is so pretty, and the music really. It caught my eye, so I downloaded some of those songs I put in my playlist. I like that choice. And what I find interesting, Matthew, is you've been 3 of the songs you have on your list so far are from composers that don't really do movie scores.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. I like how you like putting in some diversity in there. So that's pretty cool.
And yeah, the song that I was talking about is called Sparkle. And I guess there's a non-lyric version, there is a lyric version. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I've seen this film like I don't know how many times I've seen this film, and I cried every time. So yeah.
Me too.
So I really wanted to put this up there, man. That it just didn't make the cut. So yeah. Okay, so that was your 5.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch that movie because I know what happens, but I want to experience it again because it's been like 3 years since I've watched it. So I'm excited to give that one a rewatch.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. So yeah, why don't we go to your number 7, Sophie?
Oh, my number 7 was Grand Budapest Hotel, so we can move on.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So my number 6, I guess I do have 2 franchise. Well, that's not really a franchise. Okay, so my number 6 is, I wanted to put it up higher, but I tried to save those for more, I guess, non-franchise movies. So at number 6, kind of in the middle, I have one of my favorite movie scores of all time. So from 2012's The Avengers.
I saw that.
Alan Silvestri. I know you guys probably like, yeah, so I was gonna put something from the Avengers on there. I wanted to do Endgame, but the thing is, Endgame pulls a lot from like the main themes that happen in the first Avengers. So I was like, you know what? First Avengers started it all. The first Avengers is one of my favorite movies. There's a huge nostalgic element to it that I love so much about it, and it's also an incredible film. Like, from the MCU standpoint, it's so much fun. It's well written, well directed by Joss Whedon, and Alan Silvestri just comes in there and scores like a badass theme for the Avengers, and it's so much fun. And not only do they have like a huge like main theme, but there's like, you could hear Captain America elements in it because Alan Silvestri also scored the first Avenger. So when shots are on him, you could hear the Captain America themes. And he even scored a theme for, this is where my nerdiness comes in. He even scored a theme for like a Black Widow's theme, and you could hear it, spoiler alert, when, you know, she dies in Endgame, and when they're all gathered together and they're like talking about her, you could hear that he brought back that theme into Endgame, and I like that callback. I'm probably the only one who noticed it. But
I didn't notice that part. Yeah.
if you rewatch it, you can, and it's a very, very subtle theme. That's why it's very hard to notice.
I don't even know which one is Black Widow's theme.
That's the thing. It's very hard to notice because it's super subtle. I don't even know. Like, you can probably, it's buried in there somewhere. It's very hard to find. But
the initial theme was in the Avengers film. The initial Black Widow theme was played in the Avengers film.
Yeah. So he created one for her because she played a big role in the movie. And I guess I could sing it, but I make a fool of myself, and I don't know if I want to.
If you have the name for it, I can try to look it up.
That's the thing. I don't know if I have a name for it.
Well, if you want to search it up, well, I can talk about a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about the Avengers.
So so we all know the music. I don't know if we really need to play a sample music, but I might as well anyway, because the main theme is just incredible. Out of all the possible, I'm gonna make a bet here that out of all the films that we're gonna mention, this one is the most iconic theme of all of them. Pretty sure, because it's so fantastic, and you can just that first time in the theaters, that's when that circle shot happened. It's unbelievable.
I took my parents to see that movie back in 2012, and they were probably just like, whatever, but I was cheering. I was like, yeah, let's go. And they looked at me like, Sophie, what the heck? And I'm like, I'm excited. It's so great.
Yeah.
I had to put it in there. I had to put it in my top 10. It's something that, it's a personal favorite. It's something that's grown with me. I've learned how to play it on the piano, different variations. I know it like in the back of my head. I know it starts on the letter E, or on E. Like, I know the key. It's terrible. But yeah, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Yes, it is, Sarah. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'll probably just repeat myself over and over again unless someone stops me. But I did. So the Black Widow theme you could hear in a song called Red Ledger or I Got a Ride. I don't know where, because they're both like 5-minute long songs. It's the scene, I think, where Black Widow's talking to Loki while he's imprisoned, and she's trying to get him to reveal that what his plan is to unleash the Hulk. I'm getting way too into it right now. But yeah, it's just that's just and it's very subtle. It's not huge.
I don't know which part of the score.
So you kind of just played over it right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I guess I could sing it a little bit, and you could hear it throughout the movie.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I'll try to catch that. I'm gonna have an MCU rewatch soon enough. Well, I'll
Definitely try to
that.
catch her theme, yeah. And it's so interesting how they bring it back into Endgame when they talk about her, and I like that callback. It's like the same way when you were like, oh, in Thor Ragnarok they played Patrick Doyle's Thor theme, like I love that. But yeah, and another reason why I picked the Avengers is, I mean, although the composer changed in Age of Ultron, they still kept like the theme. I know it sucked, but I mean they did what they could, and they kept a little bit of the theme.
They did a great job with it, though. Yeah.
And they came back with Alan Silvestri did a great job with Infinity War and Endgame, maintaining the theme, adding new elements to the movie, and it just brings just a sort of like awesome superhero vibe to it, and that's what makes the Avengers the Avengers. So
yeah,
I'm gonna stop talking about this movie now.
Yeah, this one is I absolutely love this. The Avengers score. The particular film, The Avengers, did not make my list. And I could talk about the Avengers all day because I absolutely adore the MCU, but I'm not going to do that because we are running kind of long. So yeah, Matthew, you have any thoughts on the Avengers theme or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's an iconic theme. There's not too much left to say. So yeah, let's.
Okay. We can move on.
What's your next one, Sophie?
So my number 5, I actually just, like, when I was making the list, I put this one down as like the third one that came to my mind, because I have so many films from 2010 on here, because 2010 was such a good year, and I went ahead and put the Tron Legacy score, Daft Punk. And I get it, Daft Punk, I'm gonna be Matthew on this one. They don't really score a lot of movies, and they did, they knocked it out of this one. I'm granted, the movie, not that good. Like, it's okay. However, that's why the music chimes in and makes the movie just so much better than it is without the music. Also, the visuals are just like impeccable. But I think it's the visuals and the music that really make the film what it is. Daft Punk really created a really cool virtual theme for Tron, and like the electronic like vibe on it is just super cool.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what's happening there. But yeah, I go on.
Oh, so this is like one of the most popular songs, and it's not really one of my favorite songs. There's a couple out there that I like better than this one, but this is a really hype, this is a good workout song. If you're looking for a workout song, this is a good one. But for me, I think The Grid is like probably one of the best. But then one of my favorite ones is called Adagio for Tron, and it brings in like the cello and like an orchestral version of like the theme, and I love like the classical vibes to that song, and they bring in the main theme into it, and they combine the. Sorry, my sister came in.
It's all good.
You can chime in.
Yeah. So yeah, I've never seen the Tron Legacy films, nor the first Thor film. So I cannot chime in. Although, when I did listen, I guess, a bit of this theme, the music. So I guess I'm sort of familiar. I guess I lied when I said I've never heard it. I've never heard films, movie scores that's not from film that I've seen. But I guess I've seen a bit of the Tron Legacy. So this one is from the Adagio for Tron 1 that Sophie mentioned. But
so this one's really good, and it's one of my favorites because it's like a break away from all like the electronic themes and music from the movie, and this one just brings in like the violin and the orchestra into it. So Matthew, go ahead. I know you're dying to talk.
I mean, it's not. I haven't really listened to the score before, so I don't really have much to say. I have seen the movie, but it was when it came out, I think, around that time. So
you should definitely listen to the score again. I think you'll really like it, like listening to the whole album, because the same with like The Social Network, I'll find myself just listening to the Tron album because all the songs are just so fun and they're so unique, and they all of them together just create a good story, and that's what I.
Yeah, and when I was googling like the list online, the Tron Legacy list film definitely popped up several times because I'm pretty sure it's iconic. But again, I haven't seen it, so I haven't really paid attention to it. But yeah, Tron Legacy was definitely a popular among out there in the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's at my number 5. So.
All right, so now we're going to the top four, and we'll trade one apiece for this one. And for my number four, you've heard the similar theme earlier, but this is a completely different film and completely different score. It is Avengers Endgame. I have this in my number four. I think
There
this
you
one is
go.
superior to the first Avengers film. And yes, I know this is probably not the most original because the Avengers is definitely the first one where they heard the theme. But Endgame has so much more. You might of course think the iconic one is Portals. That's the one of the most iconic songs right now in terms of movie scores, and it's just
It's
incredible.
amazing.
When it
It's in
happened,
my.
it gives you bump.
I almost put both of them, like Avengers and Endgame, on there, but I'm like, I can't do that. So it's in my honorable mentions as like 11 or 12. But yeah, Endgame. Continue. I want to hear
But yeah,
more.
it's so epic. Portals is incredible, that particular one, and because it combines this beginning theme with the eventual Avengers main theme, and every time this song plays, I just want to scream Avengers Assemble because that's what happened. But there are so many songs from this score that is incredible. Of course, the real hero. That's when spoiler, when Tony passed the funeral scene and the music when it goes through everyone. And when Tony was narrating over it, the real hero was just so beautiful. And I'm gonna try to shed a light on one of the lesser, probably talked about score from Endgame, but I love it. So aside from the real hero, the Tres Amigos, that is when Cap, Thor, and Iron Man appear for the first time, walking and facing against Thanos. That one is a really good one. But the one that I want to point out is this one. It's called The How Works. And it is in the middle of the film. And this is when they're figuring out how to get the stones.
I love this one.
And
This one's a lot of
I
fun.
absolutely love it because I don't know if you guys can hear it. They have the subtle Avengers theme in here, but like somewhere in the middle, if I'm trying to find, there's like a bit of jazz, a little bit. Like you can, like they mix in a little bit of jazz along with the Avengers theme, and I absolutely love it. And this is when they're trying to figure out how do they get the stones, which year and everything. It's like it's so
I think this is when Thor. I think this is when Thor is trying to explain like the ether and like, oh, Natalie Portman, my girlfriend. It's great.
This is the whole scene when they're in the HQ and everything. But
Albert, I like your pick. I like your pick at number 4. I approve.
Yeah, and like you don't think this is some music from an Avengers film, but it's there, and it feels perfect because that's particular, I guess, not downtime, but like it's a kind of relaxing moment in the film, not really relaxing, I guess, but you get what I mean in that Avengers film. So yeah, that's my number 4, Avengers Endgame. So yeah, let's go to Matthew.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted to say something quick, just really fast.
Go ahead.
Since we're going, since you brought up that whole like, they used that theme in Thor Ragnarok. They also did something interesting in Endgame before Doctor Strange lifts his, spoilers, lifts his like finger up to signal to Tony like this is your one shot. Mm-hmm. There's a theme that plays in Endgame that you can also hear in the original Avengers movie. It's like the sacrifice theme. It's called a one-way trip in the Avengers, and I don't know when it plays in Endgame, or I don't know what the song name is, but it's probably the same theme, and it's basically like the sacrifice theme. They basically play it when Tony sacrifices himself in the portal, and they play it again before he snaps his fingers, which signify I noticed that he was going to make a sacrifice, I guess, before anyone else because I knew the music and I was like, oh, Tony's going to do something. Oh, God. So the way music can convey that like type of information is just incredible to me, especially like in MCU films and in any movie. And that's just something I wanted to point out that I found interesting.
Yeah. And one more thing I guess I'll say. The Endgame score as a whole probably, aside from one other one that is in my list, is probably my favorite of all time, and in particular Endgame. But I just didn't put it up there because it's not the most original one because it's a remix of all the I guess he reprised it from the Avengers theme. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
but it's still incredible. It's still so incredible. A real hero is
the scene happened, and the real hero. Matthew was there in the theaters. You were there with me, right, when we watched Endgame for the first time, Matthew?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't? Who did I watch with? Did I know you back then, or did I have?
I don't think you knew yet. Yeah.
Okay. Well, basically, when that happened, I think Kenneth can testify. I was basically hyperventilating to the point where I cannot breathe when portals happen because of the music and the epicness of the whole scene, and I was sobbing.
I think that's
So yeah,
everyone else. Yeah, everyone was going crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We
So
saw it.
that-
Yeah, you guys saw it in the theaters in Lafayette, right, or West Lafayette?
I watched it the one in Lafayette. I watched it on the East Side 10.
Oh, you watched it in East Side. Okay, we went to the one by Cactus, and then I went to Cactus after.
Wow.
That was probably the best night I've ever had because I watched Endgame and then I went to Cactus and it was just a blast. But I started crying in the dance floor because I got so sad because of the whole movie. It's a disaster. That's for another time.
All right, we'll have to hear that story after this show ends. So yeah,
I'll definitely tell that story another time.
okay. So yeah, that was my number 4. Let's go to Matthew's number 4.
Okay, well, so I completely forgot I had 2 Alexander Desplat movies.
Oh.
And, so my number 4 is The Shape of Water.
Hey,
Okay.
that's the one
That's
I
why
knew you were going to put on there.
That's why you were saying there might be another Alexander Desplat film.
But yeah, I mean, I the main theme, I love that, and it carries over to Lisa's theme, and it's like it's really romantic sounding, and like I really like the use of like the harmonica and like the flute, and then there's also like the creature, which is kind of like an eerie, like the sea creature, which I
This one the best original score, did it?
I think it won.
Yeah, this theme is beautiful.
And I like how you said this is the eerie part of the theme because there's a variation of the same theme but in like a major key, and it's just more soothing and romantic. It's Elisa's
theme. Definitely, it's like the more romantic one. Elisa's.
Yeah, I like that one. Overflow of Love is also a really good one.
Yeah, I love that one too. But yeah, I have I was gonna say that like the Elisa's theme is just like very bright and like it's like the in and out kind of similar to the main theme, and then like there's like sweeping piano.
Yeah, it's
really
no, go on, Matthew.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like there's a ton of great.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. I considered it initially. It didn't make my final cut.
It's in there in my honorable mentions.
In one of your 50 honorable mentions.
In one of my 50
but yeah, the fact that he he won twice. One is for so it's Grand Budapest and this Blood. Is that
Grand Budapest? So we had that. I don't think Matthew had that in his list, but he won for Grand Budapest and he won for Shape of Water.
So the two that he won is both in our list somewhere. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's a great choice, Matthew. I didn't have it in my top 10, but it's beautiful movie, beautiful score, just didn't make the cut.
It's a tough call too because you have to compose some music for technically a monster film and a romance film and like a very thrilling sci-fi. So that he can combine all those. Yeah. So yeah, Shape of Water was Matthew's number 4. Okay.
All right. So we're going my number 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my number 4. I really wanted to put this up like on number 3, but I guess like from here on out, they're all number 1 to me. So my number 4 is 2014's Interstellar. Hans Zimmer. No puns. Where what? This wasn't on your top 10. How dare you?
I'll say my reasoning after.
Oh, that's completely fine. Okay, so what I find the most interesting about Interstellar, I love, so Nolan's one of my favorite directors. Hans Zimmer is also another one of my favorite composers. But Interstellar, there's something just so unique about his use of the organ for a space and sci-fi movie. I thought that was really cool. And something that was interesting about the movie is that Hans Zimmer wasn't given a script when he composed this movie. He went in blind and he was like, okay, yeah, sure, he was given like a couple of like themes and was like, okay, do this, do that, and then
oh fuck, that's beautiful.
It's honestly so beautiful. It just reminds me like that whole I don't know. I'm speechless. I can't really say much about it because it's obviously one of the best scores of all time. Hans Zimmer really knocks this one out of the park. It just makes me feel emotional, but also tied to the film. And this film has a lot of meaning within like human connection and love, and it's just something I love about it. I don't know, and that's just me. I want to hear your guys' thoughts about it.
I'll let Matthew speak first.
Okay, yeah, it didn't make my my top 10. It's in my honorable mentions list though. Like my the few movies I actually have on there. It's actually it is one of them, but yeah, it didn't make my list. It's not really one that I find myself going back to a lot. Just personally, it's not nothing with the movie, but I do really love the music. It's not
That's fair. Yeah, I completely understand.
Yeah.
Albert, you have some beef with this movie or something?
No. Well, with this movie, Interstellar isn't my favorite. I'm not a big fan of it when I first saw it. Maybe I should revisit it. I forgot how good the score is, to be honest. So, the fact that I didn't like the film didn't make me really consider the score for Interstellar, which is probably unfair. But now listening to this, it's a really beautiful score. And the thing is, I do this thing on YouTube when I'm studying. I just put like a bunch of there's like a 3-hour playlist of like movie scores for studying, something like that.
Is Interstellar in all of them?
Interstellar is in there, but I never really pay attention to because when I'm studying, I don't pay attention to the which music is this film from, right? Like when I notice it. But whenever that particular theme played, I'm like, that's a good song. But I never realized it was Interstellar. So now I'm like conflicted because I wasn't a fan of the film, but hearing the theme is like it's one of my favorite themes whenever I listen to it. So yeah.
Incredible because that's a main theme that you hear it across like the entire movie, but there's also different themes. Oh gosh, there's just so many songs. Albert, I'll get you started. I'll make a list of like the best songs from the album and I'll send them to you, okay?
All right, that sounds fair. I'm definitely gonna rewatch. I have to give Interstellar a second chance because I really didn't like that film. So yeah.
At least listen to the music.
I know music really just makes it better, but the movie itself is on like a whole other level. If you really think about it, the deepness that it has within, like there's so many layers. It's very common within a Nolan film to have many layers in a movie, and this one's one of them.
Yeah, my roommate just watched it like a few days ago, and he said he cried during in the film. So I'm like,
yeah, it'll make you shed a tear.
I was like, why do you cry? I don't like that film. I don't get it. So yeah, I mean, I have to revisit it. I have to give it a second chance. So yeah, definitely. So all right, so now I go to my number 3, and this is another theme from the MCU film. I think this is a superior, one of the best score, and you guys probably already know. It's from Ludwig Göransson again, and this is Black Panther. Oscar winning, and it is freaking phenomenal. 2 particular songs, of course, the Wakanda song. It's just so iconic. The fact that he can, it's nothing like it. It's literally nothing like it. As I'm trying to play the music, I
think it's one of the most unique MCU scores ever composed, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he brought there's like the of course the choir of it, and there's also drums that's gonna come up pretty soon, and the percussion and everything.
It's iconic.
It fits so well with Black Panther because when you think Black Panther, when you read the comics, he is literally like the Afrofuturism part of it, and just visually you never thought of it. You never thought of what it's gonna be like. And then when you see the film, especially this particular scene, this is when he enters Wakanda for the first time. Eventually, when he's about to come Wakanda for the first time, and it gives you chills when he enters a portal and then sees everything, and it just fits perfectly to the realm of Wakanda.
I can hear how excited you are. I can hear how excited you are talking about this. I feel it.
And yeah, this is the particular scene that's the particular music is coming up pretty soon. It's building up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay. All right, I guess. So I kind of want to listen to the song now.
Right there is so perfect. I love it. But yeah, the other song aside from this one is when Eric Killmonger, when he says, "Hey, Auntie," when that particular scene happened, when he's revealing everything.
It was improv.
He combined Afrofuturism with trap music, and it totally works. And it's incredible. But yeah, this is the Wakanda theme that is like just it's so unique. It's so different.
Albert,
Nothing like that.
I know you probably know all the songs on the album, but like the one that I listen to the most is the last one on the playlist called United Nations or whatever, and it's basically a combination of all of the themes, and it's just it's a 7-minute song of like all the themes from Black Panther, and it's amazing. So here's my take on Black Panther. I was I was very annoyed that the Oscars did not nominate First Man when it had already won for the Golden Globe. Like, come on. First Man was amazing. It was my favorite score of the year. However, I was mad for a while, and then I rewatched Black Panther back in March, and I was like, damn, because I had some hate for the movie for no reason. I don't know. I was like maybe mad at like, oh, no, I was like, oh, this is like whatever. It's overrated. No, that movie is appropriately rated. It is so good, and the music is just fantastic, and I really have just so much praise for it now. I listen to the score all the time. Like, there's so many songs on there. I like how it's like really high up in your ranking. I agree with everything you said.
Matthew, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I love how unique it is, especially like, you know, in the MCU, it's just like one of the most unique sounding scores. And I mean, personally, I think First Man, I personally like the First Man score better in that year, but it's, yeah, I do like it a lot.
What film got nominated for Best Original Score that year?
Beale Street.
That was what year was that? 2018?
2018.
So on the 2019 Oscars then, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Black Panther did one. Black Klansman is a beautiful. They have a great score as well. This.
Sorry, I'm getting kicked out of my room because I'm being too loud. Everyone's asleep.
Oh, all good. So yeah, I'm trying to find where is the particular.
It was Isle of Dogs, right? Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, Isle of Dogs. But this is I'm trying to screen share this.
Oh, Isle of Dogs. I was rooting for Isle of Dogs.
I mean, I was rooting for Black Klansman because, like, this one, the part that he put the trap music for Eric Killmonger scene is like, oh, it's so fitting.
He does that in Creed too.
Yeah,
that's something I noticed.
So yeah, a combination of Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, Ludwig Göransson is just perfection. So there you go. Yeah. That's Black Panther. That's my number 3.
I like that as your number 3.
The fact that it's in none of your list, I'm so surprised. So I'm interested.
Oh my god,
your top 3.
You don't understand. I only wanted to put one MCU movie on my top 10, and I had to do Avengers because that's like it's my love. But Black Panther was so close to being on there because of how much like I've gotten into it this year. Yeah. I'm sorry, Albert. It's in my heart. Don't worry.
I'm just surprised though because we haven't got a lot of crossovers. So I'm really surprised. So yeah, I want to hear your top 3 now. Starting with Matthew, your number 3.
Yeah, no, this was it's hard to choose whether this one should be number switch with The Shape of Water, but the one I ended up with at number 3 is Phantom Thread with Johnny Greenwood. It's
expecting someone to say that one.
Yeah, I love that score. I love Johnny Greenwood, and so House of Woodcock is just like this. It's beautiful. It's
so
like
pretty.
Humming. It's just like the use of the piano and the string like together. It has like this ethereal sound. Yeah, I just love it a lot.
Oh, I need to watch the movie. I've never seen it.
And it's my favorite PTA movie, and so it just like makes it even better.
Oh, I didn't know it was your favorite PTA. Yeah. It's a beautiful film with a beautiful score as well. It wasn't my favorite film, but the score definitely stands out. But yeah, I considered this. It didn't make my final cut, but I considered it heavily because the film is way better. The score is way better in the film, in my opinion. So yeah, it stands out for that.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Sophie have nothing to chime in because she haven't seen it or at least you're familiar with it. I think she's frozen. Not sure.
Oh yeah, she's frozen.
So yeah, she is definitely frozen. As we'll try to see if she can. We'll see if she comes back. But Matthew, you have any other thoughts on the Phantom Thread?
No, that's it. Like, I just love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So while we wait for Sophie, I guess I can do my number 2 first. We'll see, and if she comes back.
Are there any honorable mentions you wanted to?
See, the
Maybe.
thing is, if I say the honorable mentions now, then you guys will know what will my number 1, number 2 might be.
Maybe. I don't know. You.
I'll save my honorable mention till the very last because I want to keep it kind of surprised. I don't know if Sophie is gonna. She's still. I think she changed device, so we'll see if she's back. If she's back, I'll let her back.
Maybe.
She is.
My Wi-Fi cut because I moved somewhere else and I'm away from the router. My Wi-Fi just went insane. I'm sorry, guys.
All good.
Okay.
So yeah. Do you have anything to say about Phantom Thread? I know you haven't seen it, but maybe you have.
I've never seen it. I have heard some of the music. I've only heard like 3 songs, but they're really beautiful. I'm excited to watch it because it's on my list. I've only ever seen one PTA film, and it was a weird one. I started with The Master, and I was just like, "What is this?" But it was a very interesting film. I won't really get into it. But I'm excited to watch Phantom Thread because I really like the music. And Matthew, that's a really good pick for number 3. It's in my honorable mentions. It's just I didn't put it up there because I've never seen the film. So
yeah, for sure.
All right. Yeah. So let's go to your number 3, Sophie.
So this one was these top 3 were so hard to place. So my number 3 was very How to Train Your Dragon 2010. And when I say How to Train Your Dragon,
okay.
Matthew just said Punt.
Yeah, Punt. Yeah.
Oh yes, finally. Okay, we'll.
Yeah. Before we, you know what? I'll save it. Okay. So yeah, my number 2 is Inception.
Punt. It's my number 2.
Okay. So we go to Matthew first then.
Wait. Can we talk about it if it's also my number 2 or no?
Is it also your number 2, Matthew?
No. It's an honor. It barely made my list.
Okay, then fine. It's both of our number 2. So let's talk about Inception.
Okay.
I'll let you start.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've already mentioned it a bunch of times, but this is the movie that got me into film scores. So of course it's going to be up there. Inception is one of my favorite movie of all time. I've seen it so many times.
Oh, wow.
The music always holds. Yeah, it's my go-to airplane movie. Like when I go back and forth from Miami to Indianapolis, because it's the perfect amount of time when I'm in the air. I'll just watch it. It's perfect. So it's just, I don't know what Hans Zimmer did here. He just created something just so incredible. And he kind of just incorporated the wah theme, and a lot of people started copying his themes, but it's and it's not even time. Time is a beautiful theme, and you could hear it subtly throughout the movie. It's just here in the final moments where you could really hear it in full blast because it's like the resolution of the film, which is what I love. But the rest of it, it's just it feels like panic, because there's so much going on. But he does it so well because it's an action. It's just it's crazy good. There's not one song that I don't like. Like Mombasa, it's a great another good workout song. But
yeah, this one especially time. That's the main theme, right? That one, it's one of the most I guess one of the most
recognizable.
Recognizable. Yeah, and it's so beautiful that it's so haunting at the same time.
It is beautiful and haunting. You're right.
Yeah, and it's just it plummets all the way to the very top just because of that. And I haven't seen Inception as much. In fact, I've only seen it once, but I listen to the score a lot because it's a really beautiful score, and
Albert,
I absolutely love it.
I'm gonna give you homework. You got to watch this movie again and Interstellar. Just do a Nolan marathon, man.
Nolan marathon. Yeah, sounds good. I mean, I saw bits and pieces because my roommate was watching a Prestige in the living room the other day. But
you really have good taste.
Well, I introduced him to Prestige, so there's that. So yeah,
another great film. But yeah, you should.
Inception is. I gotta revisit those.
It's incredible. I wish they were just. It's perfect for me. Like that whole the score, the movie, everything. It's awesome. I love it. Dream is Collapsing. It's just such a. I'm surprised it's not my one.
Not your number 1. Yeah, the fact that you're loving it so much.
I'm my number. You know my number 1, Matthew. I think.
But yeah, Inception. Once again, the main theme, time is beautiful. It really fits. Just the music on its own is amazing, and the fits with the film, and of course the iconic the piano one like that. People made fun of that, but it's like it fits the film so well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the reason it's not, well, the thing is my number one is shared with like four other movies, so it's so hard, but like my number one is ultimately I think my favorite like film score, because it's just, but we'll talk about that later. So
yeah, did this film got nominated or win any awards?
it got nominated, it didn't win, it got beat out by Social Network, which
That's
I was
right.
mad about, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But it did win a lot of Oscars. It won like 4 or 5 Oscars, like best screenplay, cinematography, sound editing, song mixing. I don't know. Those from the top of my head. That's what I remember.
That's surprising that you know that. I'll just say it's a disgrace that either that not Inception and Social Network didn't win for the best picture, but King's Speech won instead, which is oh well. But yeah,
I mean, it's a good movie. It's just Social Network and Inception were better.
Yeah, exactly. Matthew, you have thoughts on this? On Inception score?
Yeah, no, I love the score. I listened to a bunch. Mombasa is great. Time is great. 528491 is great, and so
that's my passcode for my phone.
Well, then Matthew, then why isn't it on your list if it's so great?
It's just like it was tough. There's so many that I love, and it's just like it just barely made it. It's like it's that and the First Man are both like fighting for that last spot. So
yeah, First Man.
Well then, so we got to our number 2. So let's hear what your number 2 is then.
Yeah, I think a lot of you guys will be surprised, but my number 2 is La La Land. So
Hunt.
I mean.
So
we're gonna talk about it now anyway, because it's the next in line. So let's talk about.
Okay, so Matthew, that's your number 1, or that's your number 2, and Albert and I have the same number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
excellent. I like this. La La Land.
And then How to Train Your Dragon is my number 1, obviously.
Wow. Okay.
Really?
So do you want to take How to Train?
I'm surprised.
First or La La Land first?
Let's save La La Land for last. Let's do How to Train Your Dragon now.
Okay. Let's do that.
Albert, I'm disappointed you don't have How to Train Your Dragon on here.
Okay, here. Let me explain. You remember how I mentioned I had 10 and then at the last minute I put Creed over it? Yeah, that was How to Train Your Dragon.
No. Oh no.
I literally listened to both of them right before we start. And there is more stuff that resonate for me on the Creed score than the overall stuff on How to Train Your Dragon. Like the main Dragon is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And This Is Burke is great, but there's nothing much that resonate to me that much from that original score album. And Creed just resonate more to me, so that's why it went over. But yeah, that main theme is just absolutely phenomenal. So yeah,
Matthew, I'm actually like, I'm surprised it's at your number 1, but I'm also really happy it's at your number 1 because it's a brilliant score. Like, it's one of the best scores for an animated film I've ever heard. It's just amazing.
Yeah. And like, obviously the opening, This Is Burke, is just like perfectly setting up the movie, like has those great like leitmotifs throughout the films, like each person's like theme, is like throughout.
We gotta mention that YouTube video I think you showed me, How to Train Your Dragon is one of the best openings of all time by Sideways. That's one of, and that's what also he also talks a lot about like leitmotifs and other scores. It's a YouTube channel everyone should check out. Yeah, I get a lot of inspiration from him.
I just love leitmotifs throughout scores in general. So like that's why it just barely goes past La La Land for me. And like Test Drive is obviously it's amazing. It's like
talking about Test Drive. Here it is. It's so phenomenal.
Scene happening.
I listened to this today and I got chills and goosebumps on my right leg.
And then there's also Romantic Flight, which is just like a beautiful romantic theme.
What did you say? Sorry, I couldn't hear you over the song.
I was talking about Romantic Flight, which is just another like just really beautiful. That's like feels really romantic.
It's Astrid's theme.
Yeah.
Or in his romance with him, basically, or his romance with her.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, How to Train Your Dragon is just on another level. I didn't realize how much. I remember, okay, so back when I was looking for more, songs to add to my playlist, I was exploring more film scores. Everyone was just so obsessed with How to Train Your Dragon. And I was listening to it and I was like, what is everyone's fascination with it? It's okay. But then I watched the movie and I was like, oh, okay, I see. So I think like watching the movie just definitely, obviously, like for anything, it brings out more, love and emotion towards the score. But man, How to Train Your Dragon, I've become obsessed with it. And it's not just this one, it's the second and the third movie too, because John Powell adds more themes to the second and the third movie. And it did just, they work so well together. And it's just, I could talk about it for days.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
John Powell definitely did a fantastic job for the whole trilogy. And yeah, it hurts me that I have to cut it out, but I'm glad it's in your list. I was afraid no one's gonna mention it, but I'm glad that I was surprised it was really high up for you guys. But yeah, it's a fantastic one.
It's up there. Yeah, it's because it's become, I even have like a whole playlist just dedicated to the 3 movies of like my favorite songs from each album, and most of the songs made the cut. And John Powell was my most listened to artist of 2019.
Yeah.
So there's
that.
that.
I have the same case for Giacchino being really high on Spotify for one of my most listened. So yeah,
I love that.
So that's how to Train Your Dragon up there. I'll be honest, Matthew. I'm surprised it was your number one. I did not see this.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be La La Land for you or something, but
yeah.
Talking about which?
Is La La Land in your list, Matthew?
La La Land's my number 2.
Number 2.
Okay, so it's your number 2. Okay, yeah. Okay, I was like, wow, where is? Okay, I thought you were gonna do La La Land 1 and then How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Okay.
That's what I thought you were gonna do.
Well, talking about which, La La Land, number 1 on my list, number 1 on Sophie's list, number 2 on Matthew's list. Anyone want to start?
You should start, Albert.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that the songs and the score really intertwine with each other is a really big thing. Just the epilogue alone is like so beautiful. It's really beautiful. The Mia and Sebastian's theme, the Hermit, I forgot what it's called. Hermit's Habit. There one. There's so many beautiful stuff from this film that is just so iconic, and I just absolutely love it. And I just rewatched it recently, and I adore every single piece of it. And people might just overlook the score because they listen to the songs and that's the one that they can think of, But the score really it plays subtly throughout the whole film, and even like once again the planetarium one is just so it fits the scene.
Planetarium one.
Yeah, it fits the scene.
That's one of my personal
it's so beautiful.
favorites.
Yeah, go on, Sophie.
No, I was just saying, the planetarium one is a personal favorite of mine besides the epilogue. I love that. It's just such a beautiful scene, and it's so bubbly and like fantastical, even though like the movie's made to be like realistic. That's just an escape of reality. I think it's just so beautiful.
Yeah. Like the song is like, I guess like soft. Is the way to describe it. It's like soft and soothing.
It builds up to like the beautiful themes we know. But yeah, it starts off really soft and it just builds up, which is, I love that.
Yeah.
I can play the scene in my head.
And yeah, my favorite has to be, if the score, aside from Planetarium, is the epilogue, because it encapsulates the whole thing. And it breaks me every time at the very end.
Yeah, every time.
Oh my God.
And Matthew, I know this is your favorite. You said it's one of your favorite film of all time. So
yeah, second favorite of all time, favorite of the decade.
Why isn't this your number 1? I'm just surprised, and I want to hear your thoughts on this score.
The score, personally, I think I just love How to Train Your Dragon with like the different kind of themes that it sets up, and like how that like plays out throughout, and then just how adventurous and everything, like how memorable it is too. Like obviously, La La Land is also like really high, and it's tough for me to decide which one.
I understand where Matthew's coming from. I think he really likes the way the themes are used more in the movie for How to Train Your Dragon, and how smartly they're used for everyone's theme. Like that video you showed me, it's just it makes me appreciate the score so much more.
Yeah,
I see where you're coming from.
All right, that's a fair reasoning. But yeah, so yeah, so this one is the only one that's all three of us have. Is that correct? La La Land?
Oh,
No,
Yeah.
we all have I guess we all have this one together.
Oh,
Unless
Yeah, that's the only one that we all have together. So
well, good. I was expecting everyone to have this one
I
on
think
here.
I said everyone would have one.
yeah, and I thought I said 3 because I thought you guys will have Black Panther and Inception too. I was wrong. So, but yeah, no, La La Land is absolutely beautiful, and
I really like how diverse our picks were though. Like we had some similarities, but like everyone
Mhm.
had their own like wild card, you know? I like that.
yeah. All right. So before we get to so we got everything. Before we we try to assemble this whole list. Is there any honorable mentions? And I know Sophie have 50. I don't know if you can get through all of those. So
No.
mention several if you want to, Matthew and Sophie.
I'll mention my top 5.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Matthew, you can go ahead and go first.
Well, so like some of them I already mentioned throughout, but so I guess I'll start with like the first one I haven't mentioned yet is Tangled. You know, it's my favorite Disney movie, and so there's just a lot of that music I really love. But yeah, just
I have that in there too.
put it into my top 10.
Anything else?
And then
We mentioned First Man. We mentioned Black Panther. One that no one has mentioned yet. I have 2 of them, and they're personal favorites of mine that I find myself listening to all the time. Is Vice. So
Really?
the movie itself, yes. Okay, so here's the thing. There's something about the score. Nicholas Britell just did something incredible, and the score is very odd, but it works so well with the type of film Adam McKay did for Dick Cheney. And the movie itself, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's good. It's all over the place, but the score just brings out like a huge dark side of Dick Cheney. I mean, because he was just like, the way the film portrayed him, he's just like a terrible person. But the movie, like, he has some jazzy elements to it, and the score also has like a really, really good deep, and there's something about it. I find myself listening to it a lot, and it's something I took away after the film. I was like, man, the score was really good, and I found myself listening to the whole album the next day because I was so drawn into it. And that's an honorable mention of mine that no one really noticed, and I mean, it probably went over a lot of people's heads, but for me,
Definitely went over mine.
yeah. So there's a scene that in the middle of the movie, it pretends to end, like living a happy life, and then there's the music is playing all happy music, and I think he just did fantastic with that score because it's like it's actually a really pretty song, but like it's a fake ending, so it has a comedic element to it. So that's one that I put in there, but it didn't make the cut because it's looked over a lot. It's not my favorite film, but the score is really incredible. I really like that one.
Yeah, the war.
And then another. Oh, go ahead.
The war in Afghanistan.
It's just it's so much fun to listen to. And he's a really great composer. He's like he did If Beale Street Could Talk, Moonlight. Like he's really getting up there now.
Mm-hmm.
Moonlight and Bill
and
Street
then
have their beautiful scores as well.
And then the other one that wasn't mentioned was Cloud Atlas. I recently watched that movie because I had listened to the score so many times. I didn't understand how much the score like actually intervenes with the movie's plot itself. I don't want to spoil anything because the movie is just I loved the movie when I watched it. I was like expecting like meh because of like all the ratings it got and like the kind of like mediocre reviews, but I really, really found myself enjoying the film, and the score was just fantastic. So I put that in there. It's up there in my honorable mention, and I wanted to mention it.
Matthew?
No, there was another Nicholas Britell movie, which is The King, which the Robert Pattinson movie, and that's another one of mine that is an honorable mention, but.
Okay, well, I do have some honorable mention. Sarah in the live chat said, "Thank you, Sophie, for exposing me to the Vice score because I was just like Kristen Bale." Okay,
you're welcome, Sarah.
That's fair. Okay, so my honorable mention, aside the one that we already mentioned, How to Train Your Dragon and Your Name, Kimi no Na wa. And Infinity War, I don't want to put all Avengers up there, but Infinity War have especially the Thanos team too was very fantastic. Not War for Planet of the Apes. Actually, yes, War. War is the most prominent one by Michael Giacchino. Upon rewatching it recently, that score really resonates with me, and it's really haunting with all the themes that going on in the film.
Oh, I thought it was Patrick Doyle that did all of them because he did Rise of the
Patrick Doyle
Planet
did
of
the
the Apes,
first
right?
one. He did Rise, and then they changed
was a good
director,
one.
and they changed to Matt Reeves, and then so Giacchino took over for the other two,
Okay.
which is why I'm excited for the Batman theme that he's going to be doing.
Oh. Ooh.
And The Force Awakens, and you might think once again, this is all franchise,
Yes.
but what are you doing? The Force
No.
Awakens has lots of original stuff.
Yeah.
The Kylo's theme,
Rey's theme.
Rey's theme is
Rey's
beautiful. And there is a particular, I don't know what's it called, but in the film when they are trying to, basically this is the scene where, if you remember in the trailer, when basically Finn punched Poe in the shoulder and they just stare at each other. They're like dun 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 dun. Yeah, that song.
That's the March of the Resistance song. If you're looking for the song,
I love that.
There are a lot of original new themes in that one. I like that a lot.
Also, I just noticed no John Williams on our list. So
Yeah.
No what?
Well, the best of John Williams are all before the decade.
Yeah. So there's a lot of John Williams. I put Warhorse in my honorable mention too because that score is really, really pretty and I love it a lot. But a lot of it is just like in the 90s and 80s and before the 2010s. So
I'm pretty sure if we made like an all-time list, it's mostly Williams. But
and there would be one more, yeah, for sure.
And three other honorable.
Albert, I need to recommend you one since you love Michael Giacchino so much.
Mm-hmm.
So you may not like the movie too much. Matthew, stop laughing at me. Stop laughing at me. But the score, this is like one of the ones that you could listen to the score. You don't even have to watch the movie, but the movie's actually really cute. It's called Monte Carlo. It's the movie with Selena Gomez. I know it's like a cheesy like whatever movie, but the score, it's so pretty. Matthew, back me up.
Matthew's
the score is great. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't put any.
You don't have to. The score is beautiful.
You made me listen to the score. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty great.
I'm definitely gonna give you a list of songs to listen to because you can even listen to the whole album. It's Michael Giacchino. He's awesome. He's amazing, and that one's another one of my honorable mentions. But it's
Monte Carlo, Selena Gomez, Katie Cassidy. That's like an area.
And Leiden Meester, Blair from Gossip Girl.
Okay, so Matthew, you have any other honorable mentions before I go to my last three? I'm just gonna go over.
No, that's all I had.
My last three honorable mentions is Man of Steel, Hans Zimmer, which is absolutely beautiful. Especially
that one's in there too.
It's a long title. What are you doing when you're not saving the world? I think that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's phenomenal. I love it. The score, horror movie is hard to determine the score because it's like very different than the regular scores that you think of usually when you try to think of beautiful scores. You don't really go to horror. Mm-hmm. But the theme from Us by Michael Abels is it's so perfect. And Swiss Army Man, I just love that score. The montage scene, a lot of stuff from Swiss Army Man is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of. I think I have heard of Swiss Army Man, but I've never.
Watch Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
Don't just go for the score, go for the whole film. I don't know if you like it, but yeah.
Paul Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, Paul Daniel Radcliffe. All right. I'm guessing she is talking about Monte Carlo. So yeah.
Yeah. The movie itself is it's really cheesy, but the score is so good.
All right. So yeah, let's try to combine the list. So obviously La La Land is number one because it's up here.
It has to be.
I don't think there is any other that's all three of us. Because I had your list. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matthew. You had number 10 is W.E. and then Lady Bird, The Artist, Little Women, Columbus, Your Name, Shape of Water, Phantom Thread, La La Land, How to Train Your Dragon.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
And Sophie, you had 1917, The Artist, The Social Network, Grand Budapest Hotel, The Avengers, Tron Legacy, Interstellar, Inception, How to Train Your Dragon, and La La Land. Right?
No. 5 is Tron, 4 is Interstellar, 3 is How to Train Your Dragon, 2 is Inception, and 1 is La La Land.
I got that the wrong way.
Don't worry about it. We went all crazy towards the last 3 because we all mixed up.
But yeah, I think you guys have more in common with each other than with me. I think I'm.
I have Grand Budapest Hotel with you,
That's
and I
true.
have Inception with you,
Right. So let's see.
and
So
Social Network.
Yep. The only one that we have in common, all three, is La La Land. So that's definitely number one. I
Okay,
think
one.
because How to Train was your number one and your number three. That's like the highest. Well, I guess mine's
There,
like
you
each-
guys both have Inception number 2.
Okay, so is a 2 and 2 higher than a 1 and 3?
Up to you.
I think we should put okay, since I had How to Train Your Dragon initially at number 10 and I move it out, I think we should put How to Train Your Dragon number 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It
fair.
belongs up in the top 5.
And number 3, I think, just because
Inception.
it has to be Inception because it's my number
We
2.
gotta put Inception on there, yeah.
And then the highest other commonality, none of you had Black Panther, none.
You know what? We can go ahead and put one MCU movie up there, and I'll let you pick because I love them all.
Well, I feel like if we should probably just merge Endgame with Avengers because they're like very similar in the same franchise. I don't know.
I think we should. I think we should just do Endgame and go for that one because I mean, as long as I love Avengers, I also love Endgame. So we'll go for Endgame and leave that one in the list.
Okay, let's see. One moment. Definitely that will make the list. I'm trying to see if they have a higher commonality aside from that. Only Matthew had Phantom Thread. Only Matthew had Shape of Water. Only Matthew had Your Name. I guess the other next commonality is the Endgame thing. Well, wait. Social
Network we had
is lower on
Grand
your list.
Budapest Hotel. We had at 7, both of us, Albert.
Okay, so let's do Endgame at 4. At 5, I guess it's. So you had Grand Budapest at what, Sophie?
7. We both had it at 7.
We both had it at 7.
Mm-hmm.
And so the commonality that we had is Grand Budapest, Social Network, and The Artist for you guys. I think that's it. Nothing else is in common.
The Artist is so good.
So Social Network is my 5 and your 8, and The Artist is 9 and 8. So I think a 5 and 8 beats out the 7 and 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So Social Network. And then Grand Budapest is number 6, and then The Artist at number 7.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it's a free for all from 8, 9, and 10.
I mean, the best fair way is to just grab the highest from each of every other.
Yeah. So Phantom Thread.
Yeah, the next highest is probably Phantom Thread.
I can vibe with that.
Phantom Thread. You and then Shape of Water is the 4 for you. The 4 for Sophie is Interstellar. My 4 was taken Endgame, but my number 3 was Panther. So how do you want to do the number 9 now? 9, 10. I guess there is 2 spots left. I'm willing to give it up to. I mean, I'll let.
See, the thing is, as much as I love Black Panther, we already have an MCU film in there, and I don't really want to put 2 MCU films in there just to give the others.
You know, since you guys both had Interstellar and Shape of Water at number 4 respectively, so do I get to determine which one goes 9 and which one goes 10?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sure. I know Interstellar will be 10. It's fine.
This is tough. But yeah, I think I have to put Interstellar at number 10. I'm sorry.
Yeah. As long as it makes the
really
list, it's okay with me.
Okay. So I am going to I'm going to send this list to the private chat, and what I like to usually do is just like we just say it one by one, all at the same, like Sophie say number 10, and then Matthew said number 9, and I say number 8, and then we go all the way through. And we say the
Excellent.
first one at the same time. So why don't you guys talk about something, either school-related or something, as I'm typing this down.
Okay.
Fill in that air.
Okay, so listen up. I can say some other really great movies. Oh, I had Parasite on one of my honorable mentions because Belt of Faith is such a banger. It is such a banger. Also, another one that I didn't hear no one mentioned, and I think is really good, is The Martian.
Yeah.
Harry Gregson Williams. I was like, no, like we didn't talk about it at all. And I guess it is overlooked a lot because there's a lot of disco music playing in the soundtrack. But so he's stuck in Mars with only disco music. It's pretty funny.
Oh,
but the Harry Gregson Williams did an incredible job with The Martian. Like it's really some powerful stuff, and I really like the score.
Okay.
Also, Matthew, part of me thought you were going to put Marriage Story on your top 10. I don't know why.
Oh.
It almost made my cut because I really love that.
No, another one that I think is really good is The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which I don't think you guys have seen.
Yeah.
I've
never seen it. I've never listened to it either, but I've gotten it recommended by someone else, so I really need to watch that.
Yeah.
Also, I think based on our argument, we can agree this plot is probably the winner of this decade.
Probably, yeah. He's done so many things.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
For sure.
Matthew, who composed the artist again? Do you remember the name?
That was
Ludovic Borse. Ludovic and then Bource.
I butcher it, but okay.
It's
I can
fine.
try this, Johnny.
Also, Paddington. Paddington has a really nice.
I've never. Wait, no, I have. Yeah, Matthew, you put it on the playlist and I listened to it, but I've never seen the movies. I need to watch the movies. Yeah, you said Tangled. Tangled's incredible. I put I don't know if you remember Gravity with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Stephen Price.
Yeah, Stephen Price.
Wait, yeah, I think I wrote that down in one of my answers in my debut trivia match. I was like, Stephen Price. That was a really good score for like a really frustrating movie because it was just all over the place. Okay, we have the list.
Yeah, by the way, shout out to Sarah for sticking around from the beginning till the very end.
Yeah.
Sarah, I love you.
Okay, so we'll just I'll go. Sophie can go 10, Matthew can go 9, I'll go 8, and then we'll go around. I believe so. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, it will land on La La Land all at the same time for us. So we'll say La La Land at the end.
All right. So I'll go ahead and start.
Oh no, I'll do this first. So here is the top 10 Councilmen best scores of the 2010s. Drum roll. At number 10.
At number 10, we have Interstellar by Hans Zimmer, 2014.
At number 9, we have The Shape of Water by Alexander Desplat from 2017.
All right. At number 8, we have Phantom Thread by Johnny Greenwood, 2017. 2017. There you go.
At number 7, we have The Artist by Ludovic Borse. I don't know how to say his name correctly. 2011.
At number 6, we have The Grand Budapest Hotel by Alexander Desplat from 2014.
And at number 5, we have The Social Network by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross from 2010.
At number 4, we have Avengers Endgame by Alan Silvestri, 2019.
At number 3, we have Inception by Hans Zimmer from 2010.
At number 2, we have How to Train Your Dragon by John Powell from 2010 as well.
Wow, 3 2010s.
And finally, the number one best scores from the 2010s is La La Land.
La La
La
Land. Justin
by
Hurwitz.
Justin Hurwitz.
2016.
2016, yes.
Oh,
So
he
yeah,
needs to score more movies.
that was a fun top 10 list. We went kind of long because I guess we ramble on some random scores and whatnot, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This was a blast. This is the latest I've stayed up all year.
Oh, is it really? Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry
go to
keep
sleep
you up.
early.
I'm sorry that I
No, this is worth it. This is I could do this every day.
But yeah, you guys have any final thoughts that you guys want to say, or if not, then we can wrap up the show.
Well, thank you so much for having us join this amazing conversation and ranking of amazing and iconic scores. I could talk about this for so long. Thank you,
Yeah, and it gives
Matthew.
gives us more scores to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. And this has been something that I want to talk about scores way more, and I want to bring attention to it. But my fellow councilmen, they're not the biggest fan. They're not the biggest fans. They love scores. They just don't resonate to as much of it as much as I do and as much as you guys do. So this is like, I guess, a passion thing for me, and the fact that I have a chance to do this, it's really fun. So yeah, I don't know how the audio listeners is gonna like it. Hopefully they do, the audio only. So that will be exciting, as I'm gonna be dropping it later today. And yeah, so thank you guys for being here. Thank you everyone who chimed in the live chat, Sarah and Steven right there, and everyone else who was watching. And yeah, so why don't you guys, where can the people find you online, if social media or whatnot, if you want to plug any?
Well, I guess you can. Yeah, I mean, what platform? Instagram, Letterboxd.
I mean, feel free if you want to do so. If not, then it's all good as well.
I'm at Matthew P. Chen, just like everywhere.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm at Sophie Planos, mostly everywhere.
All right. So yeah, you guys can find me as usual, J. Wiradharma, on Twitter and Instagram, and you're watching on Jaw Movies YouTube channel right now for the video version of the podcast. If you want to find us at the podcast on Twitter and Instagram, find us at Councilmen Show, and our podcast is called The Councilmen. Go find that. If you have not subscribed, leave us a review, a 5-star review on iTunes, and we'll shout you out in the next show as usual. Thank you once again. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching and listening till the very end. This has been a fantastic top 10 episode for the Councilmen. And once again, tune in and wait it out. I haven't talked to the guys yet of when we're going to release the Scooby-Doo commentary track. Probably sometime this week. I'll update you guys on social media, so follow me there once again, and or follow the Councilmen there to stay tuned on the commentary track for Scooby-Doo if you want to watch that with us. It's a lot of fun. And yeah. So once again, thank you guys. And this has been the Councilmen. Until next time, the council has spoken. See ya.